go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy. Hold my beer for a minute, I'm about to quit my job, cash in for a ticket. I'm going on a trip, and I don't plan to visit. I'm gonna stay there till I feel like I'm winning all. And this is just the beginning. I need a big change, help me feel like living. I need a big swing, home runs I'm hitting, and I'll never look back, moving on till I get it all. And we all got dreams, we all want things.
One of the very first things that they teach you in motorcycle riding class is to avoid the death grip at all costs. The motorcycle's just a machine, that's all it is. It has no conscience. It has no muscle memory, it has no intuition, it has no reflexes. You as the rider have all of these things, and so when you are grabbing onto it for dear life and you enter into that death grip, expecting subconsciously for the bike to save you or to provide safety, you've got it all wrong. And the problem is, the reason they call it the death grip is because the longer you hang on like that without even realizing it, your hands become numb. You cut off the circulation in your hands, and eventually you either are gonna have to pull over and get off the bike, or you're gonna crash. And the reason this is important is because we oftentimes do this in toxic relationships. We don't feel safe in the toxic relationship. We're not able to be in it with confidence, and so instead we grab onto the relationship, whether it's with family, marriage, or whatever, and we have a death grip. We don't want to let go. We're expecting the relationship to somehow provide a sense of safety for us, even though we are not confident and able to feel safe on our own in it. Does this make sense? Now, I know many of you right now are saying, Kevin, this doesn't explain where you've been. Where have you been for the past 2 months, bro? We've missed those messages, right? Well, let me come back over here and let us have a little conversation. You see, my friends, I have wondered the same thing. I have actually tried to make some videos, and I wasn't happy with what was coming out of my mouth because something seemed missing. Something seemed off over the past 2 months. I just wasn't feeling it. It's not that I feel depressed or down. As a matter of fact, I have felt more free over the past 2 months than I have felt in over a decade. I have felt great. I have been in an absolute place of peace and of rest. There's an inner joy. No more walking on eggshells. No more worried about an argument or some kind of weird engagement. I've been experiencing peace and love and true connection with friends, and it's been a fantastic 2 months. And so why haven't I been able to produce content? What's been getting in the way? And so it wasn't until a good friend of mine called me up. She's amazing. Good friend of mine. She said, Kevin, why don't you come meet me in Grafton, Illinois? I'll show you around. Bring your camera because I know you haven't been creating content, and I think you should because you have a lot to say still, right? Bring your camera. Create some content out here in Grafton. It's beautiful because it's fall, and yes, just do it. And I took her up on that. I said, you know what, I'm gonna do that. So I hopped on my motorcycle and I went out to meet her in Grafton, Illinois, and I took my camera, and I have 2 missions on this journey. Number 1 is to produce this video. Number 2 is to find out why I lost my desire to make videos for the past 2 months on the Royal Week. Sun was shining. I stopped by some of the shops, met some great, interesting people that love to come up and talk about the bike with me, talk about their motorcycle, all kinds of interesting looking shops and restaurants and all kinds of places I would have loved to have spent some more time exploring, but I had to keep it moving because I needed to meet with my friend. I got to drive alongside the Missouri River, through the bluffs, all kinds of beautiful trees because it's fall, so all the leaves are yellow. It was absolutely an amazing ride. But still, the number one thing that I'm thinking about is why do I not feel like making content for the Royal We? Now, I know it sounds arrogant to listen to somebody say, I haven't felt like it, right? We typically think that it's out of arrogance, but it's not. It's out of a form of self-isolation. Anytime somebody says, I don't feel like doing something, well, they're self-isolating. Now, the mistake we often make is believing that self-isolation is a negative thing. It's out of depression. It's out of something being wrong. But that's not always the case. Oftentimes, self-isolation can be when everything is right. For the first time, it seems like everything is so right that there's peace and there's rest and there's freedom. And in this freedom, you can isolate yourself. You don't want to be around others. You don't want anybody to steal or rob this sense of freedom and this peace and this joy and this rest that you're experiencing. This is where I've been for the past couple of months. Now, once I reached my room, one of the first things that I did was jump in the pool, which, by the way, is very symbolic for me. Because a jump in the pool represents that free fall of powerlessness when you're in the air. But then when you hit the water, you realize that you're in control and you've landed in something and you can navigate and you can swim. Then I went to meet my friend, Leslie. I was super excited, went to the spot. While I was waiting for Leslie, I was just thinking about all the things that I was up against that kept me in the toxic relationship for such a long time. 20 years in a relationship that I should have loosened my grip on a long time ago. And I couldn't help but just think about all the things that not only me, but we're all up against when it comes to why we stay in toxic relationships.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so ashamed to be alive? Break the chains and our freedom's ours to take.
Oh my goodness. Look at this. You already have food. And it was during this conversation that I think I gained insight as to what is taking place in my life and why I stopped producing content for the Royal We.
It sounds to me like your situation is something I can resonate with, just in getting to know you. You're in a marriage for, what, 8 years?
8.5 years.
8.5 years. I guess my question for you right now is, how did you start to adapt? What kinds of things did you start doing to make yourself feel like you can stay so long as you have this thing and make it work? What was that? What was your coping? What was your coping in the relationship?
Yeah, my coping was just becoming more and more focused on the external things, because that was the only satisfaction in the marriage, because it wasn't a deep enough relationship for me to be satisfied that way. So I started shopping more. I started eating more. I mean, it's just, you're looking for something to make you happy because you know you're really not happy. So it's a good way to start having unhealthy addictions if you're in bad relationships. So if you want to get rid of addictions, get some good people around you that'll help you get out of that.
And there it is right there. I discovered the missing piece as to why I took a break from creating content for the past 2 months. The reason is because I no longer feel the need to distract myself. Now that I'm out of the toxic relationship that I've been in for 20 years, I'm experiencing freedom like I haven't experienced it before. Where for the past 20 years, I've been in this toxic relationship, and in the past 10 years, what the Royal We became was my addiction. It became essentially the hamster wheel within the cage that I was living in that kept me running, kept me exercising, kept me with a sense of purpose and fulfillment in my life, but within a cage.
I'm glad you brought up addictions, because what most people don't realize is that addictions can be negative, like you said, drinking, smoking, shopping, as I'm having a cigar right now. But I enjoy my cigar. But there's also addictions that we can form that to the outside world would seem healthy, such as work. Yeah, I think what most people don't realize about the Royal We, for example, is that it started as a somewhat of a coping. It was a way for me to express myself and to articulate the pain that I was going through, but it also became validation. It became my hamster wheel, so to speak, that I can run on. And I had a community, and it felt good being a part of the community. And I got lost in that while staying stuck in the same hamster cage, if this makes any sense. And so to the outside world, this can look like a healthy coping strategy. And I'm sure a lot of people will do this even with the gym, Some people might do it going to church even, right? They go to church as a coping strategy. Yes, they want to know Jesus, but it also comforts them so that they go right back into the same toxic relationship, not fully living their life.
Because of the cage that I was in, it became the hamster wheel, so to speak, running on a hamster wheel. And you might be saying, why did this make you stop making content? Well, because now that I'm out of that cage, I no longer need that distraction. I no longer need something to run to. I no longer need that addiction, so to speak. That's what I'm experiencing. And so what does this mean going forward? Is the world we done? Absolutely not. I am here to support you. As a matter of fact, I'm still going to take phone calls. I know for a while I had my, even my counseling appointment center down during this break, but it's back up right now. But I'm not going to be taking as many. I'm going to minimize and limit the amount of appointments I take throughout the week. I'm going to limit and minimize the amount of content I create throughout the week. You could probably expect a video a week and no more than that. I don't need to create videos each and every day because it's no longer this thing that I'm going to be running to fill an emptiness in my life. There's too much to explore. And let's face it, nobody wants to see videos each and every day on narcissistic abuse. I mean, it's getting ridiculous out there. I mean, what are people talking about, right? The eyebrows of narcissistic people. 7 strange noises narcissists make while having sex. The strange eating habits of narcissistic people. I mean, who cares? I don't want to see this stuff. Do you? I don't want to make content like that. There's a lot of people out there just racing just to throw stuff up there each and every day about narcissists. Listen, the content that I'm going to create is going to be from a different place. No longer is it going to be from a place of pain, of misery, of loneliness, and of being in a cage and being oppressed. The Rowie content is now going to be from a place of absolute freedom. Have a beer with me? Oh my goodness, that tongue. We're going to be walking around for a while.
This is fine.
I wonder if I can email something to show it to you. Do you amazing trip. Special thanks to Leslie, meeting Leslie in Grafton and taking the ferry back with my bike back to St. Louis. What an epic way to end this trip. The only question I have is, well, where should I go next?